Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and welcome.
Shabbat Shalom.
So great for us to be together. Let's get this service started with Lecha Dodi, the new one that we taught last week. Hum diddy dum diddy Lecha Dodi. It's a lot of fun. Try your best to sing along. Hum diddy dum diddy Lecha Dodi. Hum diddy dum diddy Lecha Chala. Hum diddy dum diddy Pene Shabbat Necha Menha. Hum diddy dum diddy I die die die. Hum diddy dum diddy I die die die. Hum diddy dum diddy I die die die. Lecha Menha. Lecha Dodi Dodi Lecha Dodi Lecha Chala. Pene Shabbat Pene Shabbat Necha Menha.
We're still working on it.
Shabbat Shalom once again, and welcome to our home. It's so good for us to be together. Our Torah portion this week is called Truma, which means gifts. And it starts with the commandment, take gifts for the building of the sanctuary. Asuli mikdash, make me a sanctuary, v'shachanti betocham, that I may dwell within. It's interesting in light of the experience we're going through right now, not actually being in our sanctuary for almost a year now. Build me a sanctuary that I might dwell within. Does that mean that we are absent of godliness in our lives? I think not. You know, we've learned that even virtually, we are still a kehillah kedoshah. We have a beautiful sanctuary, we love it, and we miss it. But we survived without it. Our people throughout the ages have had to leave one town, one country, one continent, and to reestablish themselves wherever they lived. And yes, they built new sanctuaries, but it was the tie between our people that truly is the strength, and that is where we find this sense of holiness, of the Shekhinah, of the divine within. So, let us sing another song as we ease right into our celebration of Shabbat this week. And if you haven't already, get your candles ready so we can light together as a community.
Zamru Ladonai, sing before Adonai with trumpets and the blast of the ram's horn. Shout for joy before God. Zamru Ladonai.
this week we're giving the honor of the lighting of the candles to Lindy in honor of her 60th birthday, which is today.
I also just want to say I loved the extended prelude music this evening. So happy to have all of our musicians as part of our synagogue and of Temple Israel, and I hope that if you didn't come on early tonight that you'll go back later and enjoy 15 minutes or so of music from our wonderful congregants. So I want to make sure you know about that, and we'll light the candles together.
I'll be turning.
Did he say?
I think I said in honor of her 60th birthday. You might have noticed that on the mantle here, in honor of Lindy's 60th, we have the 60 and the birthday glasses.
We remember to put them on later.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. And our service continues with the call to worship, the Baruch Hu, and we invite you to stand either physically or in your heart as we sing together. seated. God said to Moses, Asuli mikdash v'shachanti betocham, let them build me a sanctuary that I might dwell among them. The key word here in this phrase is shachanti. The root of it is shachin, meaning to dwell. Never before had it been used in connection to God. It eventually became a key word in Judaism. From it came the word mishkan, same root, meaning a sanctuary, and Shekhinah, one of the names of God. We usually translate it as the divine presence. Central to its meaning is this idea of closeness. Shechen in Hebrew, you see, means neighbor, the person who lives right next door. That's what the Israelites needed, and that's what God gave them, a way of feeling as close to God as our next door neighbor.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from the storms. Let there be love and understanding among us.
Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkiveinu, Leshalom. Ve'hamidenu, Shomreinu lechaim. Ufrotzaleinu, Sukkot Shlomecha. Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkiveinu, Leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from our storms. Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkiveinu,
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Create a pure heart within me, and let my soul wake up in your light. Open me to your presence, fill me with your Holy Spirit, and I will stand and sing out the power of your forgiveness, and I will teach your love to the lonely, and the lost will find their way home. Sifai tifta, ufi yagi, tehilatecha. Open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Those who wish to rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'Imateinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah. Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor veHanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Bekonei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo ve'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham be'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, B'chayei hakol, Atah Rav le'hoshia, Mechakel Chayim b'chesed, B'chayei hakol berachamim rabim, Tzomach noflim v'rofech olim, Umatir hasurim, Umekayim emunato lishanei afar, Michamocha ba'al givurot, Umido melech, Melech meimit umechayei, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'emanata lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kadoshim b'chol yom, Yehallelucha selah.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Ha'el hakadosh. Asuli mikdash v'shachanti betocham. Build me a sanctuary that I may dwell within. That's how we usually translate that verse. But it's not 100% accurate. Asuli mikdash, build me a mikdash, a sanctuary, v'shachanti betocham. Betocham actually means that I might dwell within them, not within the sanctuary. God, you see, doesn't live in a house. God is when we come together to form a community, to make that kehillah. God is within us, not within it.
Va'asuli mikdash v'shachanti betocham, va'anachnu nevarech Yah me'atah ve'adoram.
Vasuli mikdash v'shachanti betocham, va'anachnu nevarech Yah me'atah ve'adoram. Let us take a few quiet moments now that we might have the opportunity to go within, to search out our own hearts and our own minds, and to meditate and to pray the thoughts that come from within. Tfilat Halev, the prayer of the heart.
And do what is good.
when God in our Torah portion commands the making of the Mishkan, the portable sanctuary built during the Exodus, the people are told, take gold, silver, and copper. Now, gold we understand. What is more precious, more worthy of being used for the making of the holy sanctuary than gold? And silver, too, we understand. Silver also is precious and beautiful, so it's appropriate to use in the making of the Mishkan. But copper? Why copper? Copper compared to gold and silver is cheap and not considered a precious metal. Take, for example, the old saying, it's not worth a copper, meaning the thing you're talking about has little value. Pennies are made of copper, and you know how little a penny is worth these days. Nobody even wants them. So why does the Torah list copper right next to gold and silver as an essential material to be used in the making of the Mishkan? And why in this week's Torah portion do we read the lavers in which the Kohanim washed before they began their sacred service were also to be made of copper? I think that I found the answer to this question in a short vignette written by a woman named Yafa Gantz, which appears in her book, A Different Dimension. She writes about brass, but I think that what she says about brass applies to copper as well. She writes, I am the proud owner of a pair of tall brass candlesticks. According to family tradition, these candlesticks originally belonged to my great-great-grandmother. In my innocence and lack of sophistication about these things, I redeemed them from a corner of my mother's hutch where they lay ignored and forgotten. It was back in the days when brass candlesticks had little status. Only sterling silver was deemed valuable enough to give to your children as a gift when they got married. I placed them proudly on my Shabbos table, polished to a luster. They gleamed like gold. Of course, my previous candlesticks were not sterling either. They were silver-plated. But again, in my innocent, unsophisticated state, I hardly knew the difference. Even my mother, who was a bright, highly accomplished woman, welcomed the Sabbath queen with silver-plated candlesticks. That was the way it was for those of us who lived in the Midwestern United States. Today, my brass candlesticks are in fashion. They are much admired and talked about by those who come to visit us on Shabbat, even though one of them stands at a little angle, leaning gently towards its mate, which I find an endearing pose. Yet they are no more precious to me now than they are in fashion, than they were when I first found them, tarnished and forgotten in my mother's hutch so many years ago. Brass, you see, is an alloy of copper and zinc, an indivisible combination of two separate elements, which when joined become something different, something better, something stronger. When left to its own devices, it tarnishes quickly, but when cared for, brass is beautiful in my eyes as gold. It always seemed to me that brass is for the generations, sturdy, strong, and true. It was a working person's metal, with no illusions of being something it is not. Silver is lovely, but fragile, and silver-plated is only an imitation. Both need at least as much care as brass, and after a while, even the best silver-plated loses its shine and rubs off. Brass is what life is all about. Combining, uniting, cooperating, and joining to create new and better things. standing strong and faithful. It retains its inner beauty even when the external tarnish is allowed to spread. A little spit and polish will turn brass that is black as coal into yellow gold. A little loving care and the shine will always come back. When I read that, I understood why the kiyor, the basin that stood in the courtyard of the Mishkan in which the Kohanim washed before they began their sacred service, was made of copper. Copper, like brass, is the metal of workers. Silver and gold are for fancy people. Copper is the gift of the Am Haaretz, the people of the land. And when the women donated their copper for the making of the laver, as the Torah says they did, I imagine they probably shined it up so that the Kohanim could see their faces reflected in it. By doing that, they made of these copper bowls objects that reflected the inner beauty of the women who donated them. There's a lovely midrash about these copper bowls. The midrash says that the women came to Moses when he was collecting those gifts for the making of the Mishkan, and they offered him their mirrors. And Moses was insulted. Mirrors? Instruments of vanity for the holy sanctuary? And he was about to turn them down, but God said to him, Ki blum, accept them. Ki hem chavevim alei min hakol, for these mirrors are the most precious in my sight. Why were these mirrors precious? Because the Israelites in Egypt had to do backbreaking, exhausting, dehumanizing work from before the sun rose in the morning till long after it set at night. And they would come home weary and worn out. But their wives would wait up for them. And their wives would beautify themselves, lifting their own spirits and that of their husbands with the help of those copper mirrors. This was the one bit of beauty the Israelite slaves had to hold on to in the cruel and brutal world in which they lived. It made them feel human in the midst of their difficult lives. And this is why God said to Moses, Ki blum, accept these mirrors, for they are the most precious in my sight. Yafa Gans ends her vignette with these words. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against gold and silver. There are some situations where only pure gold or sterling silver will fill the bill. A wedding ring, for example, ought to be made of pure gold. But for most of life's situations, a good, solid brass candlestick is still the best thing for getting the job done. So perhaps this is the reason why the Torah says that the Mishkan was to be made of gold and silver and copper. Gold and silver because they are precious and valuable. Copper because it's strong and easy to work with and to fashion into whatever shape you want. Gold and silver because they shine. Copper because it can be made to shine just as well with a little bit of effort. Gold and silver because this is what the best jewelry is usually made of. Copper because this is what the greatest number of people can afford. And there should be no shame in that. The Mishkan of old had many kinds of material in it, among them gold and silver and copper. May our homes and our lives have all these kinds of material in them as well, for the combination of beauty and strength and tradition is the most precious of all. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May it be God's will. Amen. we'd like to say prayers for healing, Misha Barak, for our friends and family who are ailing and who need whatever help and strength we can bring. This Shabbat, we are thinking especially of Diane Dakin, Samantha Porteous, Craig Corin, Sally Glick, Randy Watkins, Betty Morgan, Paul Fairbrook, Ron and Margaret Ray, Gabrielle Lopez-Smith, Ira Abramson, Bradley Cantor, Dana Glazier, Jackie Burke, Danny Reichman, Rebecca Williams, Bert Carlson, Ricardo Holbrook, Heidi Krantz, Philip Blair, Jeanette Saphir, Leslie Hirschfield, Christina Vogel, Vivian Culver, Marvin Primack, Stephen Bonacor, Barry Klein, Lou Israels, Scott Neistat, Jonathan Kelly, Robin Ferris, Lois Meyer, Allie Baker, Leah Kallman, Doralee Saxon, Mike and Victoria Atarchi, Boaz Abramson, Susan Boivy, Annette Adamson, Gail Brody Bronstein, Nancy Schell, and Amanda Rudolph. And we invite you to say aloud the names of those for whom you want to pray the Misha Barak, and also, if you like, share them in the chat with our Kehillah as we join together in our prayer for healing, the Misha Barak. We add to those names mentioned aloud those of us who are in need of these same blessings for refuat hanefesh and refuat haguf, for healing of mind and body and spirit. Baruch atah Adonai rofeh hacholim. Blessed are you, O God, who heals the sick.
Amen. We continue with a prayer for our country and the state of Israel.
Guardian of life and liberty, grant blessings to our country. Grant our leaders patience and wisdom. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and may we never be lazy in the work of peace. Eternal God, grant blessings to the state of Israel. Protect her people, shelter them with peace, and grant them deliverance from the violence that surrounds them. May they live in harmony with one another and with their neighbors. May the bonds of faith and faith that unite the Jews of all lands be a source of strength and blessing to each of us and to all the world. And let us say, Amen. It's up to us to call ourselves to task, to sing what's good and true, to bring about redemption. It's what we were free to do. For what's the point of being here if we're not moved to change our ways? It's time to live our praise. We are carrying the stories of the ones who came before. Stories will be told of us when we are here no more. We commit ourselves to action. It brings meaning to our days. Alleluia, Shabbat. It's time to live our praise. It's up to us to own the vision. We are an answer to a call. It's up to us to live the words we speak for the benefit of all. It's up to us to bow down deeply. There's a broken world to raise. Alleluia, Shabbat. It's time to live our praise. Alleluia, Shabbat. It's time to live our praise. Alleluia, Shabbat, Ladon HaKol. La tekedu la leotze breshit. Shelo asanu kiguye ha'aratzot. Velo samadu kemishpechot ha'adama. Shelo sam chelkenu kahem. Vegoralenu kechol hamodam. Vanachnu chorim. Umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'chaya Adonai v'melech ha'kol ha'aretz bayom hahu Yeh Adonai Echad U'Shemo Echad. We remember and pay tribute to the memory of those who are in the Shloshim and Shana period of mourning, the 30-day and the 1-year period of mourning. We remember with love Mort Cohen, David Boivy, Luz and Israel Teicher, David Fortis, Fernand Morrison, Patricia Ventura, Harriet Berg, Janet Bullard, Bruce Soretsky, Saul Chatnick, Susanna Lopez, Skip Evie, Harry Harris, Shirley Brecher, Judith Cothran, Evan Stein, Marcia Davidson, Adiel Fischler, Charlotte Constant, Barbara Navarrete, Oren Kabaker, Pablo Carmona Cruz, Jerry Yeeses, and Linda Sue Morgan Ray. Zichronam Levracha, may their memories be for a blessing. We remember these loved ones as well who have a yortzeit, the anniversary of their death, sometime in the week ahead. Pearl Cohen, Marvin Schwartz, Joan Bahar, Diane Feinzig, Rosalind Rosen, Carol Blumenthal, Esther Miller, Sidney Cooper, Fred Langsam, Max Wasserman, Claire Roberts, Monroe Richard Strauss, Shirley Davis, Lou Hessick, Joel Sandy Senderoff, Israel Izzy Koren, Zevi Bloom, Ernest Haas, and Benjamin Royce. And we invite you to say aloud the names of loved ones who you are remembering this Shabbat, or if you wish, share them in the chat. We also pay homage to the memory of all those who have died of COVID-19 in this very difficult year, as we remember as well the 6 million, so many who leave no one to say Kaddish for them. So we take them into our hearts along with our own loved ones who have died as we join together in Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, b'yoma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon u'v'yomechon, u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lomei amaya. Yitbarak v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalel shemei dekudesha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran b'yoma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. May God grant peace to those who mourn and comfort the bereaved. And let us say,
Amen. Well, we have a lot going on this Sunday at Temple Israel. Actually, at Temple Israel, in addition to our learning lab, our religious school, which goes on virtually, we'll be having a drive-through event put on by our social action team in conjunction with Family Promise. We're asking that you come to Temple and drop off warm clothes, blankets, coats, sweaters, scarves, gloves, both in adult and kids sizes. There are so many people that are not able to keep warm, that are homeless, that don't have enough warm clothing. And so we'll be gathering those this Sunday and we'll
distributing
distribute
them through local agencies
Right.
to those in need.
So please bring. We all have them extras in our closet and our boxes and our closets and things. So
Always difficult to be homeless and out on the street, but you can imagine the added burden during this time of the year when it's so cold.
also, on a happy note, we are going to be distributing our Mishloach Manot bags to all of our members. So I hope you come by and pick up your bag. It will be filled with.
It's a little different this year. It's not just goodies to eat for Purim.
No, we will be having Hamantashen, and there will be, there are going to be these masks. I'll let you see. It says, "Save a life and you will save the world." Temple Israel 5781. So you'll be able to pick up your mask and
At Purim,
other treats.
it's a tradition to wear a mask. Kind of ironic that we're all wearing masks this year,
Right. So we're going to be giving you that, and
but
you
appropriate.
You can still donate online to help underwrite the costs of our Mishloach Manot to Temple Israel. And we thank all those who have and the volunteers that help put the bags together. And it's from 10 to 2 o'clock this Sunday.
And it's an opportunity to schmooze with our staff,
The Wodi
Lindy
will
and
be
Carmen,
there.
myself, and
right.
other temple leaders who will be handing you the bags.
Jason and I will be there between 10:30 and 1 if you want to see us specifically. Just
In
so you know.
costume.
In costume. 10:30 to 1. But from 10 to 2, you can drop off clothes, pick up your bags. We can't wait to see you. Thank you tonight for the beautiful music from Steve Schermerhorn, Beth Sanders, Donna Smith, Vicki Strauss, Dawn Nelson. And thank you to Ari behind the scenes, putting everything together. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for your wonderful birthday wishes. I really appreciate it. I'm
Did you want to
verklempt
announce?
about it.
Oh, I'm
And I
sorry.
also just wanted to say there are other birthdays this week. We had Wendy Weiss's birthday and Pat Lindenberg's birthday, and a mazel tov for a double high 36th year anniversary to Monty and Lori Merrill.
Mazel
So,
tov.
We love to have the simchas. Wonderful.
And if you have a birthday and we didn't say your name, we're sorry, but we wish you a happy birthday as well.
Yeah.
Did you want to say anything about the Purim spiel?
Well, next week we will announce all the details and it'll be in your e-blast, but next Saturday, a week from tomorrow night, is our Purim spiel. You won't want to miss it. We are going to be showing the spiel from last year that most of us didn't, well, none of us got to see it after the spiel, and many didn't get to come to the spiel. So there's all sorts. We start with a Zoom gathering, and we'll give you all the announcements next week.
Those links will be sent out this week,
Yeah.
along with reminders. Let's sing our closing song.
We'll say shalom.
Oh, say shalom, say shalom aleinu, ve'akol Yisrael, ve'akol Yoshvei Tevel, ve'Hibru. Amen. Oh, say shalom mibracha. Say shalom aleinu, ve'akol Yisrael, ve'akol Yoshvei Tevel, ve'Hibru. Amen. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 Thought for the week before we go.
Before
Where?
the thought of the week, we just have to sing a Yom Huledet Sameach to our birthday girl
Oh my, Ari. I
because
think they're ready to just
Here we
do
go.
the thought of the week.
Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach.
And happy birthday to all you out there who have a birthday as well. The thought for the week. Where have you found peace?
Shabbat
Shabbat
shalom.
shalom, everyone.
See you
Have a great
Sunday.
Shabbat and a great week. Stay safe and healthy.